Are you suffering from altcoin depression? Maybe this video will help a little bit. Let's dig in and see what the altcoins are doing on this episode of the Bull Market Watch. Before we go in, just take a look at our disclaimer because this is just market observation, not actual trading advice. And jumping in here, in today's episode, we're going over the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet so that we can see objectively how far along the bull market is. And of course, we know that it's not bull market at all. We're in a heavy bear market, and we can see by the red line that this is increasing red line is more and more bearish. Decreasing green line is more and more bearish. If the green line is going up, then we know the bull market is coming in. And so I set this study up some months ago so that I could go through it day by day and track it. And I set it up so that, let me go back. Our trading plan is color coded so that we can see markets that are fails, near fails, and neutral that we're not trading. Things that are an alert that are coming up close to a trading signal for buy low, sell high type of buying trading signals. And then things that are green are markets that we would be holding if we were following along with the trading plan that we teach in the Simple Trading Plan book. And then finally, of course, things that we're exiting are colored blue. And we go through and talk about the different trading setups for all of these markets. But I want to call your attention to the overall color changes in these markets. You can see the reds and oranges here, and then it transfers to a lot of grays and a little bit of yellows. And then it goes from a lot of yellows and greens. But you can see that it's not everything changing from orange to red to gray to yellow to green, in that, some of them are turning green first. Those are the markets that are moving first out of these bottom formations. And of course, we want to be grabbing those that are moving first and wait for those that are not moving until they are ready to move. The great thing about this study is that it's numerical. We can see over here that red is all of the failing markets here. And sure, you can see the color coding over on the side. So we can see the numbers here that they're all failing, and then they're starting to transfer over here to near fails. Then we can see the transfer here in the numbers where it's all going to neutral markets, mostly gray. And you can just see the numbers here. And as we go through the time, we can see a whole bunch more now. Instead of being grays, we see this number decreasing, and we see the alerts increasing. We can see the shift in all of these markets as they're going. Finally, we can see them all switching over to holds here as we go along to up to 41 markets that we are holding at this point, where most everything had gone bullish. And then right through this period here that is not tracked, that's when everything went cold. Everything went over the top formations. The exponential moving averages crossed over on the 4-hour time frame, and it was time to get out of all sorts of these markets. They all went blue right after this. And so now I've put together this study, and I'm making it more in depth so that we can also track everything going on Binance and see which ones are coming first to be investing in. I found that the markets on Binance seem to move a lot more dramatically than the markets on Poloniex over the last bull wave. So I'm very excited to be studying all this. You can already see the switchover happening from all these markets that were at fail category. That's really gone down. That's really reduced here. And the near fail, it's switched over to near fail. So it's gone from fail over to near fail. Then next we'd see the column neutrals increasing. And when that switches over and it starts to go into the alerts, we know it's time to get ready for that bull market. We'll see it coming graphically in this study. Whoops. Not only do we see it graphically in the color coding, but then we see these graphs that are going to give us the really basic bull-bear ratio for all of this. So in today's episode, what I want to do is quickly go through some of the markets you can see down below here. Hello, AOL Chandra. Good to have you along. I don't know if I've got this yet. Okay. Howdy. Now, if you're watching the replay afterwards, I invite you to come and join us in our Discord community, because we go through this stuff throughout the day, and as this bull market actually switches over and goes bull, then we're going to be talking about it there. That's the best place. Next thing I want to go over here is Bitcoin dominance, because as Bitcoin, let's look at the dates here. July 8th, 9th, and 10th right here. Bitcoin dominance came to a top, it pulled back a little bit, then it started to go stronger yet. Now let's look at the Bitcoin price, and we can see here that on the 10th of July, Bitcoin prices fell back, but Bitcoin dominance continued to rise even though Bitcoin prices fell back. And what that means is we can see that as Bitcoin fell back through this period here from the 10th of July, it made this top formation and pulled back. In fact, all of the altcoins started to pull back at that time as well. So if I grab Litecoin as an example, we can see that Litecoin from here, the 10th of July, made a big pullback and has been contracting quite a bit as Bitcoin went back. So most all of the cryptocurrencies, if I zoom out a little bit, they have been going down as Bitcoin has been going up. This is the measure of Bitcoin dominance rising. Altcoins are going down versus Bitcoin in price. And then as Bitcoin topped and started to go down, altcoins went down more. So they're going down as Bitcoin goes up, and then they're going down as Bitcoin goes down. Eventually, this is going to flip around. And we had this happen in March of 2017. We had this flip around, and the alts started to follow up along with Bitcoin. So I'm hoping to track that as we go along. Now, in today's video, I just want to go through a few highlights. And if you have anything that you want me to go over, let me know. So CryptoFlight asks, do you think alts will go down more? Yes, actually. Sadly, I do think alts are going to go down more yet. And we're going to measure it day by day. It is depressing. But as Bitcoin dominance is going up, that's the measure of altcoins getting crushed. So as Bitcoin dominance comes to what may be a blow-off top, we could see a capitulation low and a V-shaped bottom in all of the alts. So as I zoom out here, this is the kind of moments that I'm looking for now, where it's just blasted right off too far. You know, that elastic band effect, it can go up so far, but it's overstretched because there really is a lot of innovation in all of those cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is not the biggest, strongest, well, it is the biggest. It's not the strongest, fastest, best cryptocurrency out there, and that will eventually get through to the masses. Right now, it's the one that's being talked about. So it's on the uptrend. I'm watching for this capitulation, and I'm hoping that by doing this daily study and tracking this stuff day by day by day, we're going to catch it, and we're going to make the most of it as it's unfolding. And I appreciate you guys being along. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you find this brief information helpful. And if you want more information, I'm making this spreadsheet available, but only to patron sponsors. So for just $15 a month, you can get access to all of the details in this spreadsheet. So not only do you get everything for Poloniex and follow through in all of these details, but now you also get everything on Binance. Once a week, I'll also do a deep video that covers everything that we're going through so that you can learn this trading system just by following along with this spreadsheet. So this is the light version of our studies. It gives you the color coding, and generally it gives you an area to start taking aim at, but not really specific entries, no specific exits, no stop losses, no profit targets. You know, it's pretty much just watching the generally throw a dart. You can start there and end here, and you'll probably make profit by following along with this trading system. So now let's go through some of the markets that in Poloniex were the most interesting. So if I scroll all the way over here on the bottom, we can see that we have 7 markets that are neutral. We only have 1 alert, 1 that is a hold, and that's Bitcoin. And then we have 10 that are near fails, 34 that are fails. So there are only 7 markets really worth taking a quick look at right now for considering buy low, sell high. 1 is Pascal. Let's go and just jump around and see those so that I can have this documented online. So Pascal is neutral, which means it's inside the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It is not pressing down to new lows. That would be a near fail if it was pressing down to new lows. And if it was actually making new lows, I would call that a fail. So if I was color coding this, this would be fail, 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 fail. This would be neutral all the way along here. Neutral, near fail, fail, fail. Neutral, neutral, near fail, fail, fail. Neutral, neutral, fail, near, neutral, neutral. So you see how this sort of changes color code all the way as it goes along, and pretty soon it will change to alert, and it'll be time to notice it. And on the 4-hour time frame, it's a pretty small time frame for a 1, 2, 3 bottom, but we do have the exponential moving average crossover. So this is setting up. If I was to draw out this as one of our alerts, I would draw this out to point out that it is breaking the downtrend line. We do have a potential, I'm drawing a little bit extra here, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here. So if it breaks above these levels, that would be where our initial buy signal is. Now, because these 1, 2, 3 bottoms in the 4-hour time frame often blast off and then pull back and keep going down, it's really risky, and you've got to be ready to get out of your trade if it doesn't prove you correct. One of the ways to filter out that risk is to, let me get rid of this. To filter out that risk is to wait on the blast off until it retests this bottom formation. And as it's showing strength off of there, you know it's more likely that it's not going to be a fake out breakout and continue on downward. The other way to reduce risk is to wait until you have the exponential moving average crossover on the 12-hour time frame. And so we can see here that the red line and the green line, this is getting cluttered, haven't crossed over yet. This will take another week or so for this bottom formation to develop to give us the real turnaround in the markets. And if you wait for that exponential moving average to cross over on the 12-hour time frame, you're more likely to enter on a trade that is going to end up profitable than entering on a 4-hour time frame. This is data we found in our studies. Now, if I scroll over, I want to take a look at LPT and the rest of these gray ones here. If you've got a market you'd like me to take a look at, put it into the chat and I'd be happy to do that. We'll just jump around there. So people who are holding alts are in for a loss. Do I suggest for them to hold or get out? I can, I get questions about what do I think the market's going to do a lot, of course, because I'm doing these videos that talk about what I think the market's going to do. But when it gets right down to my trading methods, there's only a couple of moments where I actually have a decision that I can make. Everything else is like just wait and see, wait and see, wait and see. So once I miss my decision moment, I'm thrown into wait and see mode. And you've got to have a plan to immediately get out of your trade if it goes past your moment. So when this breaks a 1, 2, 3 top formation, break of the uptrend line, exponential moving average crossover, those three things, just especially on the 12-hour time frame, I have to get out. No matter what the loss is, I have to get out because say I have one of these coins. What is it? Pascal coin. At this price here, it's 5,900 Satoshi, and I sell it to Bitcoin at a bit of a loss. You know what? It's 5,900 Satoshi, whether I sell it here and turn it into Bitcoin or I keep it. So I'm not at a loss. It's at the price it's at. If it's going past this thing on the chart, I have to take action. So now I'm watching for this chart pattern to happen on the flip side. It's the exact same pattern, but now it's on the flip side. So I watch for it on the top, I watch for it on the bottom, I watch for it on the top, I watch for it on the bottom. And as you can see here, if I zoom in on Bitcoin, I was watching for it on the top right here. And if you were in our Discord chat, I was posting this as it was unfolding, saying there's our 1, 2, 3 top formation. Let me move this over a bit. So in the smallest time frame, this is the 15-minute bar, but in the 5-minute bar, you'd be able to see this 1, 2, 3 top formation break. Then it broke another level. And as it broke this additional level, and another level, we were able to watch it all the way along and document that out. And it's just the same thing. It's the 1, 2, 3 top formation, break of the trend line, exponential moving average crossover. It happens. It works so well in the 12-hour time frame, it works fantastic. So way back here, I was doing the videos saying, look, our exponential moving average crossed over on the 12-hour time frame out of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Doom to doom, up it went. And on the daily time frame, if you pull this back and you look at when did this cross over, the last time it crossed over on the daily time frame, Bitcoin prices went up for almost a year. So it's an incredibly important crossover. Now that it's up this level, a prudent investor who got in here wouldn't be worried about this top formation because the exponential moving averages haven't crossed over. There's still lots of uptrend left. So when I think about altcoins and getting in and out of them, you have to have an idea of your whole trading plan and what you're doing with your money. It's important because the things that you're thinking and feeling about money work into the way you're working with your cryptocurrencies. So everything that you think and everything that you feel about money is going to affect your success in trading. And so you have to have all of your money organized in a way that the risk that you're taking in your crypto trading is just a small sliver of the pie. So I would have I'll do a more detail on that. This has come up a couple times. And it's important because it reduces your FOMO and everything. Could I look at CLO again? You'll have to tell me where to go and find CLO. I can type it in here, but I don't know if it's listed on something now that I can see. Oh, it is. No, it isn't. CLO, there we go. CLO, got to go to a 1-year view just because there's so little trading volume in it. And because there's so little trading volume in it, I don't want to play. Maybe I'd put $5 in and let it sit and do something over a period of time, $20, 100, but it's not a market that I would be doing unless I really knew about it, unless the project really excited me. The volume isn't here yet. Everybody else hasn't come to the party yet. And I want to wait until everybody's starting and the boat's just pushing off and I jump on. I want to make sure everything is all prepared before I'm jumping in. And wait for that volume to lift it because we got price action, right? We got the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Then we have to have volume come in. So it's harder on these smaller cap coins to get the timing on it. And this chart pattern hasn't finished the 1 to 3 bottom formation yet. It's settling here, but it's going to have to turn around and go the other direction yet. CLO and ADA I'm also watching because it is traded on BitMEX. ADA is immediately done. I'm done trading it. I don't have to do anything. It's just that much time spent on it, and I know I can't be trading this coin. It hasn't made a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on any time frame that I can see. Zoom into the 15-minute bar. It's still not making a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Instead, what it's making is a what are these pointy triangle coming down, and sometimes you get a straight up blast out of those. But they're also, just before the big continuing crash further, this kind of pointy triangle. So I can't do anything with a market like this. And when I scan through everything, where is this? If I scan through everything on Binance, as I did this morning, it took me, 8 minutes maybe to go through 150 markets because it was like, nope. Look at CDT is the only one that's a hold. CMT is one of the only ones that is actually an alert status by being a 1 to 3 bottom formation. ENG has an alert, but it's pulled back to a neutral status. So all of these need time to turn around. And so since they're on the trend down, Bitcoin dominance is on the trend up, and Bitcoin itself is on the trend up, then it just makes sense to be all your money in a Bitcoin, or most of your money in Bitcoin. And that made sense back on April the 1st. The first week of April, those top formations took over and the exponential moving average crossed over in all of those coins. If I zoom into the 4-hour time frame, clear that off, then we can see a 1, 2, 3 top formation that I was watching as it unfolded here, and the exponential moving average crossover on the 4-hour time frame. Then it gave us another top formation where the exponential moving average crossed over on the 12-hour time frame. And you got to remember that you've got 1,600 Satoshi worth of this coin. It's 1,600 Satoshi worth, where that's what we're measuring it in. So once it makes the top formation, even if you bought in at 1,800, it made the top formation. All you've got is 1,600 left, no matter whether you hold it or sell it. So now we have to pay attention to the trend. Those exponential moving averages crossed over to the downside in the alts and to the upside in Bitcoin. So there's nothing we can do now until we watch this through and get these exponential moving averages crossing over from the bottom on the alts and over on probably a top formation in Bitcoin. The reason I do this every single day is because sometimes we don't get a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It just turns around and goes. And I don't know when it's going to happen, so I have to watch it every day. GTO is another good coin. Another good chart, actually. Let's see what I pulled up here first. Whip over to GTO. So it went from a near fail to a fail. So it doesn't even... I know when I look at the chart, I'm going to have 2 seconds and I'm going to be done trading it. BTC, get rid of the filter. EFGTO, done trading it. I shouldn't be holding it. Should have sold it already. And if, I've got a portion of my portfolio that is altcoins that I'm not selling them. I don't care what they do. I have some of my Bitcoin that I held from $15,000 all the way down to $3,000 and all the way back up to $13,000, and I didn't consider selling it. It's a long-term hold. Portions of it are this way. I've got some gold and silver sitting in the safety deposit box. I don't consider selling them every time it goes up and down. That's for a long-term sit on it because I believe in these in the long term. And so I do have $20 to $50 of a whole range of different cryptos in one account that I don't want to take any time selling it. I've only got $20 of it. If I'm jumping in and out with $20 of that coin, I've already spent all that money. I'm working for that money now instead of that money sitting there working for me. So I don't want to do anything with that. If I've got a small bit of everything, I'm good to go. Just leave it. All right, let's go back over to the Poloniex and go through those charts again. So we have LPT down below here, GNT, gas, foam, and Factum. Factum, we'll see. LPT. So this really helps me short list. I take those few minutes to go through that spreadsheet and it helps me short list which ones I'm going to go and do deeper research on to see if I'm going to create a trading alert for it in our alerts package. And so what I'm looking for is, of course, the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, the break of the downtrend line, and the exponential moving average crossover. And I want to document exactly when they happen on the 4-hour time frame and when they happen on the 12-hour time frame. And often when I'm trading these, I'll also open up the indicator set and I'll verify this 1, 2, 3 bottom by making sure we have a divergence in the on-balance volume, make sure that we have a divergence in the relative strength index, and that the MACD indicator is also crossing over. Let's see which indicators here. This is the RSI. There's our MACD. And you can see it's crossed to the positive for Bitcoin. I think this shoulder is going to be lifting off. I think Bitcoin's going up more from here, and the alts are going to continue getting hammered. LPT on Poloniex. Get rid of the favorites. LPT. 4-hour view. So it's not as bullish as I wanted to see, but we do have a crossover here and then a stronger MACD with a positive crossover here. So it is starting to shape up with a verified 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on the 4-hour time frame. That exponential moving average is probably going to cross over pretty soon, and this is one of the coins that could be the first to be taking off on Poloniex. And we're identifying it just by seeing that it's that close to the trading signal. GNT and gas, let's see where they set up here. GNT, okay, so GNT fails right off that gets kicked off. And yeah, well, it's a near, I would have to downgrade that now to a near fail. So it changes the color coding for my own part. It needs more time to develop that whole 1, 2, 3 bottom formation now. And the MACD is not diverging, showing that bullishness is coming in this market. And I'm a fan of that coin. I learned too much about it, so I really like it. Gas, really down to new lows, not making a new 1, 2, 3 formation. Probably should be marked as a near fail as well. So I'm glad I'm going over these because I'm adjusting it for my own part. There must have been a slightly different more bullish look earlier today when I was going through and doing that. Foam. Okay, this one's holding out and doing well. We got the crossover here looking bullish and a crossover here at a higher level. So that is, to me, starting to indicate a bit of a turnaround to the positive on that. Niblio. We can take a look at Niblio. I'll just look at Factum because it's right next door here. And Factum, yeah, I could say this is neutral, but it's only just basically inside the very beginning of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Because that trend line is so straight, and wow, it is down below historical levels. Let's go to the 5-year. This is it. This is project level lows. We can see what an amazing run it did here. More than 10 times. No guarantee it'll go there again, but I'm still watching. Oh, and look at this. This is a really nice divergence in the MACD. On the 12-hour, that's really significant actually. So a crossover and some real good strength out of that is going to be absolutely coordinating with the turnaround in this market. We have the break of the downtrend line. We have a number 1 point here. So I'll watch this over the next 2 weeks, the next week, and see if it unfolds. Now I'll go over and take a look at Niblio, Binance, LMN. Why am I not seeing it? NE. There we go. That's why. All right. Neutral by the skin of its teeth here. And really should be marked as a near fail because it's nearly failing down to new lows. Let's go see what I had it marked as. Where's the chart? Here. Binance. LMN. So I got it marked as a near fail. And not at all ready to go. If Bitcoin's going up, this is going down more. If Bitcoin dominance is going to be going up more, so is this going to go down more. One thing I want to do though is let's go over to NEBL. Niblio US dollar. I think this is a composite based on the price of Bitcoin, but this is not looking good. I was actually looking for a bottom formation showing that this was showing strength coming into it, and it's not showing strength in anything. Like US dollar wise, it should be showing strength compared to Bitcoin. But so we got bad news on this chart both ways. And if Bitcoin's going up and you're holding some of this, it's not looking right off this that it's, well, okay, we got a crossover here. It's a little bit of a bullish crossover. I don't like this formation though. And I don't like that it's showing weakness in the US dollar value right flat all the way along here. So I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't look at it two different ways like that before. But I had planned to look at all of these different coins. Let's go look at GTO in US dollar and see how that in GTO US dollar. that right? I don't know if that's the right coin or not. So I'll just go to a different one. Let's scroll over here. Digibyte was the next one that was gray. Okay, we'll do Digibyte here, US dollar. DGB, US dollar. All right, so this is better example where we have lows, a little bit higher lows, little bit higher lows, gathering higher lows all the way along here. Nice flat, huge long bottom formation. When this goes, it's not going to be slow. Now let's go look at Digibyte US dollar, Bitcoin. Poloniex, right near Doge. Digibyte. 1 year view. So even though the US dollar value has remained pretty much flat, because Bitcoin's gone up so much, this has really gone down versus Bitcoin. And now making a potential bottom formation. The great thing is that while that's making a bottom formation versus Bitcoin, this is making a huge consolidation versus US dollar. And because it's at historical lows over a long period of time, now is the time to be watching for these setups. And we can see that in the past, it's been insane, unexpectable gains as Bitcoin was going up. Look what's going on with Bitcoin here in the past. Absolutely crushing the alts all the way along here, crushing them down till they came to his crazy lows. Bitcoin did a huge pullback, and at that moment, everything switched around and the alts started to follow Bitcoin up. And they really went up through this period. Now, what is this? This is a 1 week view. So 1, 2, 3 weeks, it went from 100 Satoshi to 2,600 in 3 weeks. And this is why I'm doing this every day, so that everybody who's watching this is going to be prepared. You will see it coming. You'll see this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up. This is probably a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on a 4-hour time frame. The exponential moving average crossed over. It would have got us into this trade, and this is unexpected. A lot of people probably FOMO'd in on this and then sold at a loss afterwards. Hopefully, all of us are going to be ready to get into these things and be selling out on those tops, because we are looking for 1, 2, 3 bottoms when we're at a bottom, and as it's going up, we're looking for 1, 2, 3 tops. This is the same thing that we do with Bitcoin right now. I was looking for the bottoms in that all the way through December and January. Now that it's taken off past these levels, I'm looking for the top formation. Let's see the dominance. That's the 1 day view. Let's go into the 15-minute view. Oh, yeah, double top and dominance and a bit of a pullback. Every move that it does is worth watching right now. Let's zoom in. 15-minute view. 1 hour view. Hard to say because it's really coming to such important levels on an angle. I do anticipate that this is going to create a much larger ascending wedge, and then the moon is our next stop. Much higher in all-time highs. And if it goes down this way, finally this will be our alt chance to move up. If we get a really deep cut back, this may be when the alts start their bottom formation and start taking off. So we may get, a little bit of alt movement, and then the alts, can't wait. Can't wait to measure it day by day as it's happening. Now that about wraps it up, though. That gives us all the information we need. I want to be sure that this stream actually covers information that's going to help you if you're starting out with $100 worth of cryptocurrencies. Because for me, I think the killer app of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies is that little guys can start micro trading. You can start trading with very little bit of Bitcoin and use services like simplefx.com so that you can use your Bitcoin to trade gold and silver. You can use your Bitcoin to trade the S&P 500. You can use your Bitcoin to trade all sorts of stocks and equities, all sorts of indicators, things that are just normally out of reach unless you have thousands and thousands of dollars. And then it's very high risk. For us cryptocurrency traders, we can start off with micro trading. And this is always exciting to me because I started off with $15 worth of Bitcoin and really worked my way up from there. Just by trading and by earning and by trading and by earning and growing the money that I had. And so I know that other people can do the same thing. And you can start off with just a few bucks in cryptocurrencies and put a little bit here, a little bit there, and start practicing the habits of making money work for you. Money doesn't grow on trees, it grows on charts. And so if you can learn to read these charts and learn to be patient so that you leave that money there working for you while you're doing other things, you're golden. You're on your path. This is the beginning of getting financial education and financial success. And I'll sign off here and we'll go on to the next episode of the Bull Market Watch when the markets are actually doing something that we could take action on. I appreciate you guys being here. I'll see you on our Discord chat. That'll wrap it up for today, and I will talk to you on the next live stream. Bye for now.